Have you ever noticed how some people seem calm, untouchable, almost impossible to provoke, while others get pulled into emotional battles again and again? The difference is not strength or intelligence, it is emotional control. Most people lose power the moment their emotions become predictable. The second someone knows how to trigger you, they know how to influence you. In this video, you'll learn how to develop a calm, controlled mindset inspired by Machiavellian strategy so that your reactions become deliberate, your composure becomes your advantage, and people slowly realize they can no longer pull you into their games. Machiavelli's real lesson is not about manipulation. It is about understanding power and how human nature works. Emotions like fear, anger, and pride move people and shape the world around us. But if those emotions control you, then someone else can control you as well. In that moment, you become easy to influence. Learning to stay composed changes that completely. Your calm makes you harder to predict and much harder to manipulate. This does not mean becoming paranoid or suspicious of everyone. It means observing people with a steady mind and slowly building your emotional higher ground. When you control your emotional state, you can watch social situations unfold without getting pulled into them. Becoming unreadable begins with listening more and reacting less. It means creating a small space between what happens and how you respond. In that quiet space, something important appears. That is where your freedom begins. And once you learn to stay there, you stop being someone others can easily control and start directing your own path. Most people think power is about controlling others. The truth is more unsettling than that. Every emotional reaction reveals something about you. It shows your values, your desires, and even your insecurities. And once people see those things clearly, they can use that information. Control does not always require force. Often all someone needs is to understand which emotional buttons will make you react. In negotiations or conflicts, visible desperation or anger makes you predictable. And when someone can predict you, they can manage the situation around you. Your emotions slowly become tools for other people, unless you learn to separate what you feel from what you show. The goal is not to become cold or empty. It is to decide carefully what you reveal. You may feel anger, frustration, or insult inside, but you do not need to display it. That quiet discipline disconnects the emotional levers others try to pull. When you become unreadable, the manipulator keeps pulling at reactions that never come. They reach for control and find nothing attached. And in that moment, the balance quietly shifts in your favor. Once you understand how emotions reveal leverage, the entire game of control begins to look different. Your attention and emotional reactions work like currency, and how you spend them matters. Every time you react to a provocation, you give away a little of that currency. Over time, it drains your reserves and makes you easier for others to influence. A composed person does the opposite. They choose carefully where their emotional energy goes and spend it only on things that truly matter. Strategic indifference often unsettles people who expect a reaction from you. When that reaction never comes, it quietly signals strength. This is not about ignoring everything. It is a deliberate choice to protect your focus and your inner balance. Start noticing how you spend your emotional energy during the day. Ask yourself if each reaction was really worth it. When you hold on to that currency and stop giving it away so easily, the dynamic begins to change. You operate from a position of surplus, and people begin to treat you differently. Emotional discipline becomes a form of psychological power. But controlling your emotions is only the beginning. If you're realizing that emotional reactions often give people leverage over you, this is exactly why I wrote The Art of Strategic Indifference. It focuses on staying calm, protecting your mental space, and refusing to give manipulators the reactions they rely on. If that's something you're working on, the link is in the description. History shows many powerful leaders brought down by their own emotional exposure. Rage, vanity, or panic revealed weaknesses that their enemies quickly noticed and used against them. Those small cracks were enough to start their downfall. In contrast, figures like Augustus understood the value of composure. He was known for using simple pauses to regain control of a situation before speaking or reacting. That small habit protected his authority. Even today, emotional control remains a powerful advantage in boardrooms, politics, and everyday conflicts. Panic, frustration, or sudden outbursts send a clear signal of weakness. But calm under pressure sends a very different message. It shows stability and quiet leadership. The lesson applies to everyone, not just rulers or executives. The person who can make you angry or anxious gains influence over you. That is why guarding your emotions matters. Do not hand others a clear map of your inner world. Real power often lies in deciding what to reveal and keeping your deeper strategy unseen. History quietly confirms what most people learn too late. Mastering emotional self-control begins with one simple habit: creating space between what happens and how you react. That small pause is where your power begins. When something triggers you, stop for a moment. Take a breath. Observe what is happening before you respond. Even a brief pause, a slow breath, or a sip of water can interrupt the automatic emotional reaction and bring your mind back under control. With practice, this changes your role in every interaction. You stop being someone who reacts instantly and become someone who chooses their response with intention. When you pause, you quietly set the tempo of the situation. Others may rush, but you move on your own terms. Start practicing this in small, low-pressure moments during the day. Each time you do it, you strengthen the habit of composure. Over time, you condition yourself to respond with thought instead of impulse. And that is where emotional self-mastery truly begins. And this is where emotional control begins to turn into real influence. To master your emotions, learn to observe your own mind with some distance. Pay attention to what triggers your anger, anxiety, or defensiveness, because these are the buttons others can easily press. Keep a simple mental note, or even write them down if it helps. Whenever a strong emotion appears, pause and trace it back to its source. The moment you start recognizing these patterns, you gain influence over them. A small space forms between you and the emotion itself, and in that space, real emotional mastery begins. Composure is not something you suddenly turn on during a crisis. It is built little by little through small choices you make every day. It shows in how you respond to simple frustrations, like traffic, criticism, or small inconveniences. These ordinary moments are where you train your emotional discipline. Think of them as your practice ground, where you slowly build emotional strength. Daily habits such as mindful breathing, quiet reflection, and keeping a relaxed posture help create a steady reserve of calm. Real strength is not loud or dramatic. It appears as quiet composure when others expect a reaction. When you practice this daily, that calm becomes natural, and over time, you become much harder to shake. If you prefer understanding people rather than reacting to them, you may want to stay connected. Subscribe for more content like this, and a like always helps. To become psychologically unreadable, you must learn the discipline of a neutral expression. Your face often reveals your internal state before you even speak. Most people show their thoughts and emotions openly, which makes them easy to read and predict. A strategic person learns to keep a calm, steady expression instead. Think of it like a quiet poker face, observant, composed, and controlled. When you manage what your face and body reveal, you protect your vulnerabilities and make it much harder for others to understand your next move. Once people realize they cannot read you, the dynamic between you begins to change. Just as your face can reveal your thoughts, your words can do the same. When people feel nervous, they often speak too much, trying to fill every silence with extra words. But every sentence you say gives information to anyone paying attention. If you want to become harder to read, start practicing restraint with your words. Speak only when there is a clear purpose, and allow silence to exist without rushing to break it. The less you reveal, the less others can use against you, and the more control you keep. Silence is not the absence of communication. It is often a very powerful form of it. In a world filled with constant noise, deliberate silence becomes noticeable. When you choose not to respond right away, it creates a space that others feel the need to fill. And in doing so, they often reveal more than they intended. Your silence encourages them to expose their thinking. A strategic person understands this and uses silence to observe and gather information before acting. It allows you to maintain control without showing aggression. In many situations, silence works like a mirror, quietly reflecting other people's behavior back to them. Practice pausing before you speak. Once you learn to use silence well, you begin to control the flow of information in every interaction. Silence is where most people lose control of the conversation. Strategic detachment means stepping back and looking at situations as if you were an outside observer, rather than letting emotions guide your decisions. That small psychological distance becomes a shield against manipulation and unnecessary drama. When someone provokes you, pause and observe the moment carefully. Ask yourself what they are really trying to achieve. Are they hoping you lose your composure? Detachment protects your clarity and keeps your inner balance intact. The moment you refuse to step into their game, their control weakens. Train yourself to observe first and react only when it truly serves you. In a world that moves quickly and expects instant answers, a delayed response becomes a powerful strategy. When someone pressures you to reply immediately, take a moment instead. Simply say, "I'll think about it and get back to you." That small pause shifts you from reacting under pressure to acting with control. Waiting to respond gives your emotions time to settle, allows you to think clearly, and often earns quiet respect from others. Learning to delay your response is one of the simplest ways to become harder for others to control. To become impossible to control, you must learn to observe the game of manipulation without stepping into it. Imagine yourself as a spectator in an arena. Below, people are caught in struggles driven by ego and the urge to dominate. From where you sit, you can see the patterns and the traps more clearly. Your strength comes from staying calm, detached, and watchful. Notice what is happening, learn from it, but resist the pull to engage. This is the difference between being the spectator who understands the game and the gladiator who gets lost inside it. Observing manipulation is only part of the skill. The other part is learning how not to engage with it. This means calmly refusing to accept the emotional terms someone else tries to set. Think of the gray rock approach. You remain steady, neutral, and unmoved by provocation. When necessary, reply with short, simple responses such as, "I see," or "Thank you for your perspective." By not feeding the situation with emotion, you protect your energy and keep control of yourself. This quiet restraint is real self-mastery, calm, centered, and far more difficult for anyone to influence. When tension rises in a room, maybe a negotiation stalls or someone openly challenges you, people naturally watch the person who stays calm. Composure under pressure signals quiet leadership. It is not about pretending to be calm, but showing the discipline you have developed over time. Relax your body, keep your posture steady, and move with intention. Speak slowly and in a controlled tone. which naturally draws attention and settles the atmosphere. Remain observant and avoid getting pulled into the chaos around you. In moments like this, you are not just enduring the situation, you are guiding it. The result of mastering your emotions is the development of a steady core of psychological independence. This is what it truly means to become difficult to control. Your sense of self-worth and emotional balance no longer depend on praise, approval, or the opinions of others. Flattery loses its power because you do not rely on it. Criticism cannot easily shake you because you have already learned to judge yourself honestly. This kind of inner stability becomes a fortress that manipulation cannot penetrate, because there is no leverage to use against you. Others cannot offer you what you do not need, and they cannot threaten to remove something that does not come from them. This independence is built gradually. It grows each time you refuse to react to provocation, each time you choose a thoughtful pause instead of a quick emotional reply, and each time you observe a situation calmly rather than responding through ego. But the final shift happens when you no longer need anything from the people around you. You slowly begin cutting the invisible strings that once allowed the world to pull at your reactions. Over time, this creates a quiet but steady confidence. It is not loud arrogance or the need to prove yourself to others. It is the calm certainty of someone who no longer needs constant validation. That quiet certainty naturally creates a sense of authority around you without effort. A psychologically independent person evaluates situations according to their own principles and goals, not according to pressure from the crowd or the desire to be accepted. They can stand by their view even if the entire room disagrees with them. This is not stubbornness, it comes from clarity. Because their decisions are not influenced by the need for approval or the fear of criticism, they can see situations with a clear and sometimes uncomfortable honesty. This kind of clarity makes someone both a valuable ally and a difficult opponent. Their actions come from logic and purpose rather than emotion or group pressure. In the end, this is the freedom that Machiavellian principles can offer when they are applied inward for self-mastery. It is the freedom from being ruled by your own emotions, and as a result, the freedom from anyone who tries to manipulate those emotions. You become the one who governs your own inner state. That kind of psychological sovereignty is one of the strongest forms of power. It allows you to move through complex human situations with calm, strategy, and a steady sense of peace. When you truly control yourself, it becomes very difficult for anyone else to control you. You are not emotionally numb, you are emotionally free. The true source of power does not come from controlling others. It comes from mastering yourself. Build a quiet inner fortress through composure and deliberate choices. The world will always try to provoke a reaction, but the way you respond is always yours to decide. Real strength often appears in calm stillness rather than loud reactions. Each time you choose composure instead of impulse, you strengthen that inner fortress. Over time, you become the calm center of your own world. The greatest power is often invisible. It is not the loud authority of a ruler, but the quiet influence of someone who truly understands themselves. A person like this moves calmly, earns respect without asking for it, and becomes difficult to manipulate. Protect your inner peace and spend your emotional energy carefully. This is the path to real personal sovereignty, mastering yourself so no one else can control you. The most meaningful change always begins quietly, from within. If this video helped you see emotional control in a new way, leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Share this video with someone who might find it useful. Subscribe for more insights on psychology and strategy, and watch the next video to continue building your awareness.